Hello. What's going on? It's time to hone your brilliance. I am so excited to be back with you another week. This is week 2 in our December series for Hone Your Brilliance. And I am your host, Robyn, the Queen Educator. My name is Robyn Queen. I go by Queen or Queen Educator, and I have been called to change the way we do education in my profession. I am a kingdom educator in my ministry. I am just excited to be on here and to help people go from burnout, brokenness, baggage into brilliance. Yes, because you have everything that you need inside of you that is being ready, that is being activated, that is being like formed in the fire, whatever you're going through. We all have something that we are carrying since our birth, even before our birth. And I want to make sure that we walk into 2026 and carry it out with confidence and really transition well. And so, who's my audience? My audience are the people, or it's you, who is the educator, someone who teaches someone something, someone who is a caretaker, someone who is constantly called on to be a voice and to be a creative, right? And so to educate others and to leave legacy. But the problem that we have with that is that there's often huge burnout, right? Like you're doing everything. You're actually really, really gifted and talented, but you don't always know what to do with that. You like have worn many, many hats, but you're not sure exactly how to walk through a pathway where you can be well, where you can be successful, and you can use that also for your own life to live a winning life. So if you're trying to um, find your voice again, if you're trying to remember your gifts and how to use them in a way that also allows you to be well while pouring into other people. We always hear that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup, but often we do. We find anything we can, everything we can. If we don't have it, we find it for someone else. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? And I know if it's you, if you're watching this and you've been watching me and kind of following me, you can follow me and see more, encouragement from years past on Facebook as Queen Educator Robyn Queen Educator. I am Queen Educator on Instagram. And for those educators and people who are in directly in the school system, you can go to Everybody Educate. There is a calling on your life, not to just mentor people, not to just teach people and coach people, but for you to be a world changer. And I'm talking to you, brilliant educators. I'm talking to you who feel like you need to go to the next level and you're not quite sure how to transition there. You're not sure how to go to the next level. You've helped everybody else get their lives right, get themselves together, but you are sitting there stuck. And not that you don't know how brilliant you are. People are telling you, and you're like, I know, I know, but when do I have the time to really hone and own my own beauty and brilliance that God has called me for? When do I get time to breathe? And so I want to let you know that I'm here for you, and that each week that we could jump on here, we have an opportunity to just be with like-minded individuals, right? And to just talk. So you can share in the chat where you're coming in from, what has been burdening you, right? What has been causing you to feel like you're burnt out? You may not actually be burnt out. You might literally just be lost a bit. You're right, and you're trying to find your way. You may not be burnt out. You have a lot of capacity. See, I have low tolerance in my life, and people will let you know, my family, they're like, oh my gosh, you do too much, you talk too much, you're always trying to counsel somebody, you're always trying to give advice, you're always trying, because I like to see people live in abundance. And I like to live in abundance because I know that that is what's possible. There are so many people in your circle doing more with less, but you're sitting there with all of these gifts. I'm just telling you what I go through as well. Right? This is not just for you, but this is also for me too. But you're sitting there and you're about to go into another year, and that year literally might look exactly the same as last year. And we don't want that to be the case, But because you are such a nurturer, you're a caretaker, you give so much to so many people, you go to work every day and you are the one that is like, oh, I see a need, let me get to it. Other people might say, oh, somebody else will get it. And you are that person that gets it, right? That picks it up, that feels, picks up the slack. Right? Is that you? If that is you, I want you to comment right now. That's me. I'm guilty. And then you get mad at yourself because you're like, you want to be that person. Like, let somebody else do it. They're going to do it. But your heart is burdened. And it's like, no, 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 no. If I pass this by and I see someone in need, what, I can't just walk away. So I'm so excited though, because to have a hurt like that is beautiful. But many times you get taken advantage of. Many times it's not even, you can't get bitter and mad at the people, you're making the choice. Because some people are like, no, they're very disciplined in that way. And they're like, nope. And they're about their business. They're doing something. You cannot blame people for, your heart of love and giving. But what you can do is hone it in a way where it works for you and everyone. And I'm telling you, it is possible. It is possible. So that's why we meet each week this December. But the most important thing about it is not so much about me just giving you an empowerment speech. It's about strategies that you can use to not shut down, give up, and walk into another year the same way, feeling upset, bitter because you don't think people see you, understand you, or really want to take all the value that you're bringing to the table, honey. And you're like, listen, I'm gonna stop, and you never do, right? Because it's not in your nature. You are built to help build others. Is that you? Is that you? You are in the right place. And I call you an educator because what we must do, even if we're not a traditional educator, you're not a traditional educator, you are teaching someone something. You are teaching people how to give unselfishly. You are teaching people to have the character of Christ. You are teaching people how um, you're modeling for people how to go above oneself and be selfless, right? And sometimes it's hard. It's sometimes that's hard to have that particular calling on your life to teach people how to have like live in a way where we're not we're treating each other with as humans and not like just stepping on each other, because our world is like that, especially if you live in the United States of America. There's not a lot of praise for community. It's more about like, come on, get on your bootstraps. You did this is mine. I did this. I. But what we want to do, what we want to have is a space where we can depend on one another, where we can share the load and carry the burdens together. But if God is giving you the capacity, and you might be doing 80% of the things in your surroundings, you might be the friend who is giving 80%. You might be the family member that is giving 80 to 90% in your, of the vision that we want to see forward. You might be on your job and you're not even the leader, but you're leading and you're doing all your responsibilities too. And you're getting a little bit tired of not seeing too many more people like you. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people like that, but it is a gift. It is not a curse. It is a gift. You have been called to teach others how to, really take and have the capacity for others, the care for others, right? And so you're in the right place at the right time. So I wanted to let you all know that. I wanted to let you all know that because God is keeping you. He is energizing you. When we talk about brilliance, and like we think about brilliance, and brilliance is, you know, used in so many different ways. And I don't know if people really understand that. And we're going to unpack that a lot more next week, what brilliance really is, what it really looks like. This week, we're talking more about your gifts, your ability to get grounded in who you've been called to do. And it's very different. And sometimes it does feel like a lonely road when people don't really get you. And it's not, it's okay. Brilliance is that authentic, from my definition, what I've learned is that brilliance is that authentic beauty that you were built with, that God put inside of you, that the creator made. And sometimes you cannot think about it in your own strength. Your brilliance comes from within and how you have been created. And if you're joining us live or watching the replay, I want you to take a breath with me for a moment. Just take a breath. My mom always says, slow down, take a breath, because I can go, 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 go. That's that capacity, that initiative that is inside of you that has been bubbling up for so long, and you're ready to just go. So I always have to slow myself down. I have to slow myself down because I know that the way that I think and the way that I operate, people may not always catch on or get with the program. And I have to have patience because we are teaching others how to tap into that part, into themselves as well, right? So this series exists because too many people, especially educators, have been faithful, gifted, and committed, yet disconnected from themselves. Their clarity, their confidence, it's just been squandered a bit. It's just like, it's like, wait, where am I? Because you take on so much. And sometimes when you're taking on so much, you're taking so much on in your strength. So let's just breathe. Ready? Here we go. Why are we breathing? One thing I learned about myself as I've been going through my journey is that your body needs care, right? To do the work. We have great dreams, great visions, many people looking up to us, trying to figure out the way, lots of things that are happening. And our body has to also catch up with our brain. Our brain has to catch up with our body in order for us to really pour out and really hone in on what we are called to do, who we are called to do it for, and how long we need to be in that space. So we've got to breathe, right? Simple. That's the first strategy. So I want you all to think about honing your brilliance by, first of all, breathing and allowing your whole body to catch up with your mindset. Sometimes it's very easy to just go, 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 go. And we think that we're lost. We think that we're like tired, we're over it. But it's really important that we check in with ourselves, slow down, listen, and realign. Say this with me. Slow down, listen, and realign. That's what this space is for. Slow down, listen, and realign. So let's do a little recap of last week. So you already have brilliance. The work is learning how to hone it in and not prove it to anyone, but prove yourself worthy of what you've been called to carry. And it doesn't mean that someone else is supposed to approve you, because you have already been approved by the master. Your creator has already approved you to do the work. So when people are looking at you crazy, like, why are you doing so much? Why do you care so much? Why do you love like this? Why do you this? It's because you have been built for it. So now it's time to prove that you are, accepting the call versus proving that you can, compare to other people, and or that you can catch up and keep up and look like everyone else. Not at all. Your goal is to make sure that you do not bury that brilliance under pressure, under performance, and expectations of others. But you should have expectations for yourself to walk out what you've been called to do. I often get really hard on myself when I don't finish something that I really have been working on, wanting to get out and do. And sometimes I literally have to stop and say, all right, it's okay. Because who are you proving it to? What you need to prove is that you can slow down, that you can use wisdom, that you can have confidence in who you are, regardless what other people think about you. So that's what we talked about a little bit last week, and the difference between survival mode of being like survival mode versus excellence, right? And purpose and being aligned. So thinking about, I'm trying to survive. I'm just trying to keep up. You hear people say, I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses. Who are the Joneses? I'm trying to keep up with Jesus, honey. Okay. I'm trying to be more like him because he's given me the capacity to love, to forgive myself, to forgive others. And if you really want to shine and you want that shine bright, light up the stars above, shine bright. I love singing that because you are a beam of brilliance. You're a brilliant educator, and God is ready to help you to activate with momentum. You are a beam of brilliance. But if it is buried under pressure, performance, and expectations, your light is cut short. You're feeling lost. You don't have the clarity. God's talking to you, but you're not hearing him, or he already spoke and you forgot because so many people want you to pull you this way and that way. You've got to stand firm on being whole and ready before you can go out and be whole and ready for other people. Be whole and ready for yourself. And so that's why, as an educator, for me as an educator, I felt stuck, even though I was capable of doing so many things, right? And so last week we talked a little bit about that. You have brilliance in you, but it fades when your identity gets tied only to roles. You're like, I know it's time to move, but I had this title and people are expecting me to keep this title. People are always expecting me to be an educator or a teacher or be the one that comes, and you start to fade. That light starts to fade and goes out, and you're losing your identity, forgetting who you are. So week one was about recognition, noticing where you've been operating on autopilot. How many have been there? I mean, often. There were times I've just been like, wait, what am I doing? I'm just going through the motions. There's a song by Hulvey, Hulvey, and I would play it all the time. It's like, I'm just trying to be down. I've been going through the motions, and you start feeling stuck. There's one thing to have a routine, and there's one thing to, flow in your gifts. And that's great. And that's what we should do. We should be doing everything in decency. We should be doing it in order. But when we are going through the motions and we're stuck in the motions, something's off. We're not aligned. Is that you? I'm gonna take a short pause and breathe, because that has been me, and it's me sometimes. And I have to every day I have to be mindful. Okay. So if week one has stirred up something in you, we talked a little bit about that, and you were in the Zoom room, because I had put a little bit on YouTube here, but I need you all to come on into the Zoom room. You can go right in, and it is a good time for us to chat and have some time once I get off of here, off of YouTube. But I want you all to understand that you don't have to be on autopilot. We want to take a lot of these bad habits. They are bad because they're bad for your brilliance. Anything that's bad for your brilliance, you need to shut it down this year. That pride, that feeling like, I have to prove, all of that. There's something that has been trying to pull for your attention. And guess what it is? It is the answer to the problems that you've been having of feeling stuck. It is your inner self trying to tell you, it's your body saying, I need you to pause. I need you to rest. I need you to process. I need you to choose one thing that we can shine on this year. And let's just go full force with confidence. One thing we can work on this year, right? If that is you, go deeper. Journal, write, voice record. Let all those emotions and those things out, those bad habits that are burning your brilliance or cutting down your light. All right, so this week we're thinking about transitioning into a place of awareness. So to align, from awareness to alignment. We often talk about alignment, and some of you are doing all the things that you've been called to do, but that it's not aligned. Ask me how I know. Ask me now how I know. Busy bee, honey. Queen bee, Robyn Marie. Ask me how I know, because I love to move. I love to go. Recently, I was at I was like a speaker or facilitator at an event, and we talked a little bit about the story of Mary and Martha, and how when Jesus came, one was at his feet and just taking it all in, and then the other, she was busy getting everything together, moving all around, and there was nothing wrong with either of those things. But I want to know, Lord, when is the time that I need to really just sit and take in? And when is the time that I need to move? How am I aligned? Right? Alignment is not doing more things. Alignment is doing what fits. And that's the tricky part. That's the part where we start to burn out. And it's not anybody's fault. And we want to blame our job and our family and our this and our that. But really, we're doing so much more instead of doing what fits. Alignment is doing what fits. So many people like me, so if you're like me, you're an educator, um, you're not burnt out because you're lazy or you're unfocused or you're all over the place. And you might actually feel like you're all over the place, right? It's more that you're misaligned. You're carrying assignments that no longer match who you're becoming now. You're holding on to expectations that people had of you in the past, and you're trying to fulfill that because you're trying to please this person because you love them so dearly, you love their ministry, you love their school, you love their this, that, and the other. And God's literally like, okay, you've already been there, done that, it's time to move on. Or you are growing up and your parents are like, they still have these expectations of you, of where you should be, how you should be, that, but God is like, hey, that was in that season, they taught you a lot, but it's time for you to shift. Or your children are now in a place, I don't know what your story is, right? But it should be your story, your story. And remember, when you're reading a story, and I'm a literacy coach, I love to teach reading. I love metacognitive thinking and thinking about our thinking. I'm constantly thinking like, why are you thinking this? And I'm always going into these rabbit holes. But when I used to teach reading and literacy in English, you know, I remember just really analyzing stories with students and going beyond summarizing and analyzing. And we would always talk a lot about, the motives, the intentions of characters or people in the world, and the why behind the what. And that's kind of where we are right now, right? We have to understand, in order to as we go through the story, sometimes the story unfolds in different ways. The intentions start to change and the motives start to change. We start to get clarity. People start to grow, or they start to problem solve. And it's like, oh, I didn't realize that I was coming across that way. Oh, I didn't realize that I was, in all of these places doing all these things, thinking that I'm doing the right thing, but really I'm in somebody else's way who should have been doing this because I was out of timing. I want you all to think today about your alignment and the timing of what you're doing. Are you doing what you've always been doing because you feel good? It makes you feel good to feel wanted, to feel like you should be in that classroom teaching in that certain way, or you might be a homeschool parent, and you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I have to do all the things, but there's so many resources. So in your story, as your story starts to unfold, it might have been that you were doing this at one point, but now as you grow and you develop, you start to see how you can pull in your resources, how you can be brilliant enough to use other skills that you have. You might be a singer, and you might also, like, so I'll just say for me, I'm a singer, I'm a curriculum writer, I'm a caretaker, I'm a lot of things. But am I the things I'm supposed to be? Am I activating the things, the gifts that I'm supposed to activate right now in this season? Right? And so think about your alignment. Here are some questions for you to consider. What am I carrying that is no longer mine? Think about it. That's the Selah moment. What am I carrying? Who am I carrying that is no longer mine to carry? Where am I over functioning out of fear, loyalty, and habits? And what part of me has been asking for permission to shift? I want to talk to you guys really closely. Come on, come here, come here, come here, come closely, come here. That's what I say to my nephew. I say to my sister, I say, come here real quick, come here, come here. I want you to really hear me on this one. I want you to really hear me on this one. Alignment is not quitting everything. Alignment is choosing intentionally. Some of you don't need a new job. You don't, basically, you need a new framework. Some of you don't need more motivation. That's why I'm not about to sit on here and be talking to you forever now. Let's go. We'll make a change. And that's what I say to myself often as well. You get into alignment and your whole world starts to shift. My body, sometimes I can feel it. And I'm like, well, shut your mouth, girl, shut your mouth, because you want to say all this stuff. You're burnt out, you're bitter, you're upset. You're like, I did all this stuff, but it doesn't seem like things are coming together. My body will literally be like, pause, pause, pause. Who told you to do all that? You are supposed to put on your mask. We say this all the time, but it is very hard to do. But I promise you, when my body says rest and I rest and I move into a space where like, oh, let go and let God, hey, as I know, 1K few. Y'all know I love the music. I get to a place where I actually feel better when I stop and I'm like, calm down, feel your feelings, move on and align yourself. Don't quit everything. Choose intentionally. All right. So here's a question I want you to sit with this week. Where am I functioning out of obligation instead of alignment? I know this is hard. Come on, close your eyes. Close your eyes. I know you know what I'm saying this to myself. Where are you functioning out of obligation? Why do you feel the need to be obligated to so many places? I don't want you all to go into 2026 feeling like you are obligated to do anything. You don't owe anybody anything but to love and respect them. And they don't owe you anything either. What expectations do you have for others that you should be doing? Just listen. This is it's what I say to myself as well. So you don't have to answer me right now, but you can go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll talk a little bit more in the Zoom room. Just notice what comes up for you. Where are you functioning out of obligation? This is so important for my educators out here. We always take on so many hats. We always take on so many things. And I want you to ask yourself, why? Am I trying to prove something to myself? Because if I'm trying to prove something to myself, I'm not getting burnt out. I literally am honing in on my calling. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing in this season? How does my last season help me build up my new season? And am I teaching or am I coaching? Because I've already taught so many people. Now, can I coach them? Or am I advising? Because I've already taught and coached so many people. Now they should be able to go off. They should be putting me out of a job. And my new job is something now different. Now I am advising and now I am mentoring. Now I am encouraging, right? Where should you be? You should never be fighting for a space. Well, that's always been my role. And that's all. You are not obligated to stay in a space that God has already called you and grew you to the next level. It is time to let others come. All right, guys, it is 5:30, and I want to end just sharing with you all that this is sounds so like easy, but it's not. It has taken me several years to get to a place of confidence to let go of many things that were not supposed to be in my space, and in my walk right now, especially as an educator. I have had to work on like just really loving myself and proving to myself that you are worthy of the calling that God has given you because he said you're worthy. Instead of trying to prove to people and say, "Hey, I do this. Hey, I can help with this." Hey, that's where you're burning your own self out and you don't have to. You have the capacity to do all that, but you're wasting too much time. You're wasting too much. Don't waste as much time as I did. You're wasting too much time trying to show people your brilliance and get them to believe it and to respect it and to agree with it. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to, you just need to move. You need to walk into the next space, into the next level. And those who will walk with you will walk with you. Those who won't, they won't. That's okay. It's all right. Keep it moving. So I want to share something with you as I've been walking alongside educators. One thing that has become clear to me is that this season, this decade requires educators to be supported and not isolated. So I have a mentorship group called Kingdom Educators Rise. My cohort will be graduating this month. My first cohort, we've been doing this for 12 months. So in 2025, it actually started in 2024, where we're helping people who are in a space of just stuck. Like, I don't know if this is truly my gift. I don't know. if I'm supposed to be here. Like, I don't know what I should be doing. I am lost. I am stuck, or I'm not stuck, but I just need to know how to get started. I'm not stuck. I have clarity, but I just don't know how to get started. And there are people pulling on me, and I don't know how to say no. And I don't know how to have boundaries. And I don't know how to, and so we have a course designed just for you. It's the Kingdom Educators Rise. It is a free mentorship space, but space is limited. And when I tell you we are each other's accountability partner, we've started many things from that. Um, we're launching things. People are in depth into their ministry or in their education. I've had nurse practitioners, people in there who want to give back, who I described today, who love on a big scale and they want to scale their impact to the world. We are here for you. So this space is for educators who sense that they are in transition, growth, or realignment and don't want to walk it alone. So come on in, get your clarity. Space is limited. We will start in January. That is our first month, and it is going to be wonderful. This is not therapy. It's not a crisis hotline, a place to be passive. It's for educators who are ready to reflect, to engage, and to grow into their kingdom impact, into their impact that God has called them to, and not for who people have told them they should be. For those of you who are saying, I don't just want to reflect, I want structure, that's where the Brilliance coaching course comes in. And so we love you to come and be a part of either one of those things. You can come to the free mentorship. It is once a month, but you must be faithful every month. And you'll hear some testimonies next week from some of my lovely, lovely, lovely members that are in there right now. And then we also have a course where we have helped the best educators to win at who God called them to be. They've started their businesses, they've written books, they've started programs because they have had the courage to walk out the beam, that brilliant educator, and activate all of that momentum that God has put inside of them in a safe space, full with resources and support that is customized. So we will talk a little bit more about that next week. If you're interested, go ahead and put in the chat. I'm interested in the mentorship, or I'm ready to jump right into the coaching. I want that one-on-one support from you, Queen. You can go right ahead and do that. So we have our Kingdom Educators free mentorship. Space is limited. It is free. It is a 1-year mentorship. It starts in January. You can definitely go ahead and actually text me. Those of you who really know me, you're like, listen, I need to get in this right away before I get into the year. You can actually come to our celebration this month. And we're having a big celebration. We have a special guest. We have Minister Pastor Sequoia J. Tarver. She will be there, and she is dynamite. She's going to be at our celebration and just offering I don't know how to say it, but this Kingdom Educators Rise has been prophetic the whole time. Like, God has been speaking and people have been realigned and stepping up with their full armor on, and they are like not to be stopped, honey. These ladies have been amazing. It's not just for ladies, but if you are an educator, you are someone that wants to expose your impact and build your capacity, come to that mentorship. If you're someone that wants to even hone it even more and own it, you can come to our Brilliant Educator course and one-on-one time with me through our 12-week program. So we'll talk, like I said, we'll talk more about it. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek. And that's all. So next week, we'll talk about what it looks like to build with sustainability and not urgency, that God's time is not our time, and that his perfect timing actually will pay off. So pay attention to what you've been nudging. I want you to come back next week with like a list of things, like what have you heard? What have you been dreaming about? What has God said to you? Has he said that you're going to be the change agent in your family? Has he said that you're going to be wealthy in certain ways, and you don't have people around you, like everybody around you is limiting you. They don't they don't see it, but they're limiting you, and that's okay. That's all right. You need to get into a group, you need to get into a space and trust that clarity will unfold when you're in the right place with the right people at the right time. And you're going to have to leave the things behind that have been minimal. I don't like minimal, not whenever God says that I can have all things that work out for me, for my good, not whenever I can have all the things that have been promised to me. So join Kingdom Educators Rise, free mentorship, learn more about our Brilliance coaching course and program one-on-one. and subscribe to our channel at Robyn Queen. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.